Alrighty. We are Joe. Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm going to be driving, so I'll just be taking it from my car.
Okay, you cool. All right. It is now 5:01 p.m., so we will call the meeting to order. The first order of business is approval of the July 24th, 2024 Personnel Committee meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
And I guess it's so many people, we don't need a second and all that stuff, or do like to call a vote and all that stuff, right? All right, so those minutes are approved. The third agenda item is the public appearances for non-agenda items, and since it's just us, I don't believe we have any. And then, so the first agenda item A would be update to a classification title, which is the Community Development Specialist to Community Development Program Coordinator on the non-represented pay plan, title change only with no resulting pay grade change.
So included in the packet was the job description for the Community Development Specialist. This was the mayor's new position for 2024, and we originally did the recruitment, and it was a failed recruitment. So we held an equitable hiring tool meeting. We had a good group of folks that reviewed the job description and actually realized that it was more of a program coordinator and retitled the position. And so we just want to formally update the classification titles on the pay plan so it reflects what we had our intention for hiring. So there's no resulting pay increase or pay change to it. So it's truly just updating the job title from Community Development Specialist to Community Development Program Coordinator.
Sounds good. Joe, if there's no further updates or questions that you have, would you make the motion to approve it?
I'll move to approve.
So how we do seconds when it's just me and him?
Assuming you approve with just the two of you, then you can just say, I approve as well. Motion.
All right, cool.
Motion carries.
Well, yeah. I approve of the classification change. So Joe made the motion, so I approve it. So we can add that title change to the plan, and then transitioning to the second item would be the employee handbook updates. So update to item 2.11, outside employment, and item 3.23.3, the PTO carryover to add clarified language.
Yeah, so I have it here on the screen as well. The outside employment, one of the things that we have a lot of hourly LTE seasonal employees here at the city of Fitchburg, and sometimes people want to work the election as an example as a poll worker. So right now, all city employees can only hold one job with the city at a time. But if we have a part-time, for example, nutrition assistant in the senior center working, morning hours, and she wants to work as an election worker at night and get paid for it, we'd like that ability to be able to approve that. And so this language allows us to basically have an exception for LTE employees who want to hold more than one position with the city of Fitchburg. But this would be really rare. It's truly in very limited term roles like poll workers, but this would open the door so we can allow that.
So just to make sure I understand this, so is that only people who are like part-time to where they can piece like different part-time things together, or can a full-time person like do this too?
Yeah, so not a full-time person. Okay. So it's too hard administratively, and there's differences in pay for different jobs. So full-time employees can only hold one position with the city of Fitchburg, but this would be for your hourly LTE position. So your very limited term part-time positions.
Okay.
That could have that exception and work potentially as like a poll worker, as an example.
Works for me. Joe?
That sounds good as well. The only question I have is if somebody in a part-time position with the city were taking on a role as a poll worker, would they be getting paid the poll worker rate, or would they be paid the rate that they were already getting for their job?
Yeah, so it would likely be the poll worker rate, but everyone on the hourly LT intern pay plan, or because they're all going to be over $15 an hour, and our poll worker pay is $15 an hour, so they're likely to be going down in pay just while they work the election.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You gotta make the motion, bro.
Sorry, move to approve.
So, yeah, I approve. I think that the language is fine, and that seems like a reasonable thing to add to the employee handbook for those for those individuals who want that type of employment and have that flexibility. Item C is the HR department update, the HR report, and fire chief recruitment update.
Yep, and before we move on, for the PTO carryover, sorry I didn't touch on that.
Oh, sorry, I forgot it was.
Oh, no,
my
you're
bad.
good. At the last personnel committee meeting, we had added battalion chief to the pay plan, the non-rep pay plan, and that's a position that works 24/96 hours annually. So this is just adding that that they can carry over up to 48 hours of PTO. We just needed to make sure that that's clear for battalion chief. So that's why it says or 24/96 hours.
Gotcha. I didn't even see that in red. It was so small. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
So a real minimal change
Okay,
or update.
that works.
Okay. Can I get a motion on that?
Oh, sorry, Joe, we gotta make a motion.
Yes, move to approve.
I approve as well for the role of battalion chief to add the language, including their hours of 24/96.
And then the next item is the HR report. So I included that in the packet. There's a lot of stuff there. We haven't met that much this year for personnel committees, so I thought it'd be good to give you an update of what we've been working on this year.
Okay.
If you kind of go through, when we look at permanent hires, we've had 15 permanent hires this year.
Okay.
We have about 275 staff, but when it comes to like permanent, part-time, permanent, full-time, it's about 200. So, we have quite a few hourly, limited term, seasonal staff.
Okay.
So we've hired, of these 15, 8 of them police officers. So we've had a really big push for police officer hires in 2024. Promotions, we've had 9 promotions this year, which is really exciting. We just had one effective next week already that I didn't even get to add to this report yet. We have a new public works lead worker who just was promoted. So these are really great opportunities for people internally who worked really hard and competed to get into these roles.
Gotcha.
And then our current full-time recruitment right now is police officer. We have 3 vacancies currently. We have no resignations that we're aware of. So we're not on target to have anyone start for the January Academy. So at the earliest, we would have some potential new police officers for the March Academy. But we're probably looking at more of a summer to hopefully get those 3 filled. We always have a continuous recruitment, so we're always accepting applications, but it's still a challenge. We just had 2 hiring interview processes, and all the candidates that went to the command staff did not pass that interview. So
Okay.
we keep on plugging along and keep advertising, going to job fairs, and seeing what we can do to get more applicants.
Somebody went to the FBI. Nice.
Yeah, oh yeah, so this is our turnover. So it's the second lowest year since 2014 of turnover. So our turnover rate is 8%. 2020 was our lowest year ever for turnover, which was 7% during the pandemic. Our 5-year average turnover rate is 12%. So it kind of puts it in perspective there that we're doing really good this year. These are the reasons people have left this year, just keeping it real general. Sometimes there's, multiple reasons, but you can see here that, a listing of the different reasons. We've had some retirements, we've had some relocations, we've had our most recent 2 resignations, one going to Cottage Grove to be their street superintendent, so that's our public works lead worker, and then our recreation coordinator is going to be over at Village of Mount Horeb, so that's closer to our home.
Just curious, the person who left public works to pursue, I'm assuming, a degree in engineering.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we don't offer like any type of education reimbursement as we do.
Yeah,
we
we
do?
have tuition reimbursement here in the
Okay.
city, absolutely.
So did they actually have to leave to do that, or was it just not feasible?
It wasn't feasible with their schedule. So what's interesting about this one is we actually posted a engineering technician internally to the public works, internally to city employees, and this person applied and was so interested in becoming an engineering technician that it actually pushed them to go back to school. So now they're pursuing higher education to go into the engineering field. So I think they're actually pursuing a bachelor's degree in engineering. So it's kind of taking them into a different route. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. Different things we've been working on this year since January. We have a new employment page. So if you ever check out our city's website, It's beyond just posting our job openings. It actually kind of tells our story. We've been able to brand ourselves, and we have employee testimonials, and we've been able to hold hiring campaigns. So where we can reach passive job seekers. So it's been really exciting to have this new recruitment enhancement software. We also had our first ever Youth Government Week, which you and Joe were both part of, and it was very successful. We had a great time holding that. We had filled two
Is it gonna continue?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yep, we'll have that every year. We filled 2 brand new positions that were added to the 2024 budget, the Housing Initiatives and Program Specialist. Lorraine Gage is the new Housing Specialist, and the Community Development Program Coordinator, which we just renamed. We've got Jessica in that position. So we rolled out our paid parental leave benefit to all city staff. We've had about 7 employees utilize paid parental leave to date. So it's definitely something that's being utilized. And that's 2 weeks of paid parental leave at 100% for all employees. And then we changed our FMLA calculation period from a calendar year to a 12-month rolling look back. This was for non-public safety employees, and then starting in 2025, it'll be for all employees. So this just is our ability to establish when people can go on FMLA leave. So it's not, sometimes with a calendar year, what can happen is someone can take the last 3 months of the year and then have an FMLA event again the following year and take the first 3 months off. So essentially they could be gone for 6 months at a time. So that's why we want to move away from the calendar year.
Okay.
And then HR was part of the strategic plan work group and participating on with the planning and implementation meetings. But this was exciting. Adam Sayre, our deputy city administrator, really led this work group, and it was really cool to be part of. And then collective bargaining continues with police and fire. We're making progress. I don't know if we'll have anything before January, but both contracts expire at the end of this year.
Okay.
We updated all the job descriptions. Amy, Tracy in my department, she did a great job. This is a huge project. There's a lot of job descriptions in the city, so we're finally up to date with those. And then the last 2 things that we have, our employee resource group implemented what's called a new buddy program. So, when you have new employees, sometimes they can feel kind of alone. So we're trying to look at ways that we can help them feel welcomed and kind of pair them up with other people outside of just who's in their department. We've piloted this with 3 employees on the employee resource group, and now we're going to open it up to all city employees that want to be a new buddy for a new employee.
Mm-hmm.
It's meant to, the first 3 months of someone's employment, to basically pair them up with someone who's been here for a while and give them kind of like hints, suggestions, little tips and tricks, to help them feel welcomed. So.
Just curious about that. Like my research is in like mentorship, so I'm always curious like how people orchestrate stuff like this. So does the new person choose their buddy, or do you assign them?
They don't. So we will have volunteers, and we'll have a database of volunteers, and then we'll work to basically assign them. The thing is, what if it doesn't work out? Because I know that can be an issue sometimes where it's not a good match.
Mm-hmm.
The new buddy program, the sample agenda, it's so light, so it's not like a mentorship where it's a longer term. So we have yet to embark on what to do in those situations.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we got some things to learn there. We're still in the really beginning steps, but
Gotcha.
yeah, we kind of learn as we go. And then the last thing that's super exciting, the city's never implemented a employee engagement survey before, so never.
So what did you all do for like staff, like if you wanted to gauge like how it was, I don't know, the city was doing, or like employee morale or whatever?
You looked at turnover rates. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we do talk to our employees. Department heads are really good about good communication with their employees and asking them how they're doing, and we have regular performance evaluations. So the city does have stuff in place. We just haven't had like a formal survey go out. This is a third-party software program that allows us not only to launch employee engagement surveys, but like a DEI survey that our employee resource group is going to put together. We can do 30, 60, 90-day check-ins with new employees or newly promoted employees, and we can do exit surveys too. So really cool stuff in there, and it's completely confidential, which is great. This is going to give us feedback on not only how employees are feeling, but also how our leaders are doing, because there's a leadership feedback component in there. So.
Nice.
really exciting.
For Lorene, isn't she's a elected official somewhere in a municipality surrounding, right? Did she have to leave that post to take this job?
I don't know about that. I'm not sure.
No, she didn't.
She didn't, because she's on something in Sun Prairie, I think,
I
right?
believe she is on the Monona Grove School Board, perhaps.
I remember something, seeing her name somewhere like when everything was, okay,
Either is currently or was in the past. I don't recall.
gotcha.
Specifically.
The different governmental bodies, so there's not a conflict.
Cool.
And then future projects for 2025, we're going to be implementing a new employee recognition ceremony for early 2025. Super excited about this. So the mayor just had her mayoral award nominations, and there was a ton of people in there. We opened this up, and it closes on December 1st, but basically an employee can nominate somebody for basically showing one of the city's core values. Maybe they show all of them. And then we have a mission, vision, values work group that created our mission vision last year. They're going to be the ones who will have basically some rating criteria and identifying who would be those 4 employees that we would have a special ceremony for in the council chambers. And it would basically, they could bring their family, their friends, their loved ones, and basically we would read off their nomination, give them a plaque, they could have a picture with the mayor, the city administrator, just trying to give employee recognition in a way that's more formal and after hours and special. So we're really excited to see how this works, and I think it's gonna be great.
Cool.
And then we're going to be bringing back Take Your Child to Work Day. So I'm really excited about this too. This is in April. We did this many, many years ago, and then everything, COVID happened. There were a change in staff, and now we actually have the funds to be able to bring it back. So, and then we are going to be looking into the feasibility of a city mentorship program, different than the New Buddy program. So I might need to tap into you, Donald.
That'd be fun. That's cool.
Yeah, and then creation of the city succession plan, working on that, and then lastly, filling the vacant fire chief position. So I don't have a full report for you on the fire chief today. We're in a really early stages of that position. So we just held the equitable hiring tool meeting this morning. It was awesome. We had a really great discussion about everything from qualifications to advertising to hiring panels. All of this has to go through the Police and Fire Commission, and one of our PFC commissioners, Angela Banks, was part of the tool this morning.
And to the current chief right now that's serving, he doesn't want to be the permanent chief, right?
As far as I know, I don't know. That could always change. You never know
What his plans are at this point.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we encourage anyone that is interested to apply. So, but it's a nationwide search. We always post our department heads nationwide. And so we talked about the process. So in January, when we have personnel committee again, I can show you really, we'll have a finalized process because it'll be posted January 2nd. So I can even give you an update on how many applicants we have and kind of what the next steps are.
Cool.
So that is all I've got for the HR report. Do you have any questions or thoughts or anything that you'd like for HR to be focusing on?
I know. Joe?
Yeah, so for the Youth Government Day, I know that there were a couple folks from Extension that wanted to follow up about kind of partnering and implementing some sort of youth and governance program. Is there anything that's come from that?
Yeah, so I actually met with Jasmine and Ellie. Over lunch, and we talked about the youth government program. It sounds like they're doing something like a one-day event in December with Dane County. We talked about like ways we can collaborate and work together in the future. I'm so excited. I think that they're wonderful in the programs that they're doing over at UW. So yeah, I definitely see us working together more in the future. They told me about Patch, and so I actually had a meeting last week with Patch to talk about, they're like the youth, they have a youth group that basically provides consultation on any events that you're looking to do and provide feedback on it so that you're getting an actual youth feedback on Youth Government Week, right? Like things maybe we could do differently. So it's a free program too, it's paid for. So we'll be looking at doing that sometime in like April or May, like really early on. So we have plenty of time to adjust Youth Government Week.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for the connections, Joe.
Absolutely. I don't have any other questions about any of the other content.
Cool. But that concludes that report, Sarah, and we will go to announcements. For the 2025 meetings on the calendar, we have January 8th, March 12th, May 14th, July 9th, September 10th, November 12th, and these meetings will start at 5 p.m. in the room that we're currently in. Any commentary or anything for that, Joe?
None.
All right, well then the last agenda item is just adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Works for me. We are adjourned at 5:22.